I've already read that. Whenever I come here I get so nervous. There are quite a few books I wish to borrow, however. So seen the crime? We haven't visited this place yet, have we? I look forward to it. Yeah, seeing a body, the best. Why does it say question mark? Whatever. Jail. A prison that detains prime suspects. We can interview the defendant here. Oh, that's why she says that to every place we've not been to. Alright, 53. Whoa! Oh wow, this is different. Obviously, it's the first time we've actually done this. Oh god, it's so weird. An old-timey jail. All they have is candlelight. I'm innocent, I told you. So this is the jail. How might I say it? This certainly is an impeccable prison, isn't it? Well, speaking as a man who was locked up in one of Japan's jails, I think even our simple Japanese jails were far more comfortable than this. How heartbreaking. I've been told that the client is in the cell, but it's too dark to see further inside. What sort of person could he be? Number 53, the attorney is here to interview you. Stop hiding in the corner and come out. I have a name. To call me by a number is outrageous. I refuse to grace you with a reply. Okay, what, pray tell, is your name then? Excuse me, Naruhodo? Do you understand what's going on here? Your guess is as good as mine. Those bitter words. We're definitely in Japanese, though. Oh! What the hell? Huh. An older gentleman. Who are... Shh, be quiet. It must be hiding somewhere. No one can hide from my eyes. What? Surely, right now, right this instant, too. It is looking at me, listening to me. I can feel it. Are you okay? Have you been on the, like, smoking some of the good stuff? Eating some things you shouldn't be? I have a feeling this guy's, drugged up. Well, let's try this again. There you are, damnable spirit that curses my very life. Spirit? What the fuck? Oh god. Do pardon me, but might you be... Japanese? Good heavens. This is... Heavens above, bless me. What the fuck? I do sincerely apologise for that loss of composure earlier. Don't worry about it. It did surprise me a little, though. Oh god. However, a year has passed since I left. To think such a situation would transpire in a far-off land. The words of my fellow brethren penetrate my heart upon our meeting at the depths of hell. Oh, flood of emotions. Wow. This is the next client Lord Chief Justice Vortex spoke of. I can't believe that. It's a Japanese person. My gratitude to the motherland. After all, home is where the heart is. For the sake of one mere exchange student, she dispatched one first-rate attorney. Praise the motherland. What is this guy on? A first-rate attorney? Looks like there's a huge misunderstanding here. In any case, would you be willing to tell us your story, good sir? For example, we'd like to know about your arrest as a suspect. Aye, of course, with pleasure. Jumping up for joy. What is this guy? Aside from... nutty... oh god. Nuttier than squirrel shit. That is what this person is. God, the cast of characters in this game is the greatest. I don't quite understand what he's saying, but he seems happy. Yes, he does. Let's hope this trust isn't misplaced. I'm pleased to make your acquaintance. I am Ryunosuke Naruhodo, an attorney. As for me, I am Sasuto Mikotoba. I'm his legal assistant. I am an exchange student sent to Great Britain from the Empire of Japan. Is that Sosuke? Oh no, Soseki? Natsume is my name. Not Sosuke. Okay. Suseki. Alright, so tell us about yourself. I don't know how you say that. Sosuke? Soseki? Whatever. Natsume was it? That's an interesting name. Well, you see, I am quite fond of writing haiku. You can think of it as a pen name, I suppose. A pen name? Huh? That's what you take on a different name for an authored work, right? Yes, that's generally the case. That's not all there is to it. There's a kind of refined elegance to the title. In any case, I have to say that hearing about haiku makes me feel like I'm back in Japan. That reminds me. Earlier you said you were an exchange student, correct? Yes, the Japanese government sent me here 1 year ago to study the English language. I had no choice but to comply, but look at the situation it has put me in. They've ruined me. You had no choice. You mean you didn't want to participate in the exchange? That's not quite true. I've always wanted to visit the British Empire. Uh-huh. However, it was a ridiculous demand to begin with, and even more so coming from the government. What exactly do you mean? Asking me to study English literature would at least be within the realms of my field. But to study the English language? I've not even an idea on where to start. Simply absurd. I thought it was just going to start thrusting then. Sheesh. Uh-huh. In fact, the other day I received a directive asking me to report my progress this past year. Because of their sheer nerve, I submitted a blank sheet of paper in response. That'll show them. This guy is possibly the most animated character in the game. You must be rather the important person to be able to do that. Ah yes. People often tell me that. He said it so proudly. Yep. Alright, suspect. What happened? So, what suspicions were you arrested under? I had no hand in it. I would never be able to commit such an atrocious act as murder. Murder? Wait, but I thought they weren't dead. They were just unconscious. Oh, that's right. She didn't actually die. Oh, never mind. She was stabbed with a dagger. Right in front of me. Right in front of you? Then does that mean you saw the culprit? No, I wasn't paying attention. I did not, of course. Huh? If I did, I would not be in such a predicament right now. Which means the situation here isn't so simple. Wait, what? Of all places, why did she go out of her way to get stabbed right in front of me? Ah yes, I'm sure she chose to. That's right, this must all be due to the curse of these London spirits. Oh, you damned pests. Holy shit. So, despite him being present as it happened, he didn't see the culprit. In any case, we should ask him for more details of the incident. Not on the incident. More details. Yeah, about it. Tell us about it. It had just stopped snowing. The streets of that cursed night were shrouded by fog. I was on my way back to my cursed flat after making my cursed purchase at the bookshop. Looks like he's cursed in all sorts of ways. There was but one other individual walking in front of me along that cursed road. She was wearing a green overcoat. When it was able to pass her by, it happened. What the fuck? What the? She suddenly let out a short cry and then she collapsed onto the cold ground. My god, she looks a lot different than she did in the opening cutscene. That's for sure. Sheesh. How terrible. Oh god. I begged her to speak, but she would not open her mouth to respond. The scent of death. But she isn't dead. Yeah, this guy is a little crazy. Just a little. Terrified, I seized the first opportunity to flee from the cursed scene. At full speed, mind you, back to my cursed flat. So that probably made him look like the culprit. That might not have been your best decision. As a Japanese man, I should probably be ashamed for what I did. By the way, did you happen to know the victim at all? Not in the slightest. I'm not acquainted with any blonde Brits, let alone young women. Seems you fail to understand just how much I want to keep to myself, cooped up in my flat. I see. So the victim was a young woman. By the way, besides the two of you, was anyone else walking along the footpath? Unfortunately, I don't remember. I did not catch sight of anyone other than that woman. She was stabbed by a mysterious person. What? No one else was there. The victim was a complete stranger, and there was nobody else present. If that's really the case, then this is quite curious. What about it is curious? Quite curious indeed. So, what did you mean by quite curious? There's just something about Suzuki's story so far that doesn't add up. The victim was a complete stranger to him, and there was no one else at the scene. Furthermore, he ran away from the scene so that nobody would see him. Indeed. But if that's the case, that means Suzuki must be the culprit. No. What did you just say? Nothing. I didn't say anything. I should learn to keep my mouth shut. Or mind. Oh god, he looks terrified. That's not quite what I was getting at. I was curious about how exactly Suzuki managed to get arrested. Huh? Suzuki made no contact with the victim, and there was no one else at the scene. How, then, did Scotland Yard track him down? Oh, she is right. Those damned spirits. It was him. Thanks to that man's cursed great deduction. Oh, Sherlock. I ended up getting arrested. Why must I suffer this shame? Cursed great deduction. No way. Sherlock! I'll remember that man's name until the day I die. The Sherlock Holmes. He called himself a great detective, then laughed an unforgettably obnoxious laugh. Fuck's sake. Be gone, cursed soul. Yeah, there he is. The Sherlock Holmes. I'll curse you until the day I die. Of course. It really was him. It's the same guy who pinned a crime on me. Mr. Holmes. Oh god, the Sherlock Holmes. Oh no. Of course he's involved. Why wouldn't he be? I never would have guessed we'd hear his name here. After I escaped that nightmarish scene, one cursed night passed. While I was gnawing on my hard French bread, several men suddenly stormed into my room. We're from the yard. Drop that weapon this instant. Weapon? No matter how hard it may have been, who would call French bread a weapon? Spartan lifestyle. What the shit is he saying? You've had quite a rough time of it, huh? And there he stood in the middle of all those detectives with that blindingly wide grin. And his name was none other than the Sherlock Holmes. You know, I actually don't think "the" is part of his full name. Afterwards, I learned that he's the greatest detective in London. Oh. I suppose that's where the great in Great Detective comes from. With his all-too-clever deductions, he managed to pinpoint where I lived. He then had the nerve to accuse me, a frail hunchback man, as a knife-wielding maniac. I wonder what kind of amazing deduction he came up with this time. Are we gonna do a great deduction? Oh, we better. I must ask though, were you arrested solely due to Mr. Holmes's great deduction? Even that would have been too heavy-handed for that lot. Well, to be honest, when they stormed into my room that morning, confusion took me. Why, of course, that's only natural. They interrogated me with their fast, difficult English words as I stood there and trembled. Cowardly Brits. Well, this is the British Empire after all. Of course they speak English. I began to panic, but I knew I had to respond to their verbal assault. So I simply responded with, "Yes I do, and I'm fine," again and again. Oh no. Before I realised it, I'd been handcuffed and thrown in here. Well, I would have probably thrown you in jail too. What a guy. Yeah, what a guy indeed. Holy shit. Master Naruhodo. Just Naruhodo is fine. Oh. Excuse me. It seems I've been taken over by British culture. Am I to understand that you will accept my case and defend me? Is it true? It's too good to be true. Is it permissible for me to believe it is truth? How many times did you need to say that? Well... Why? Why has the cat got your tongue? Really, I'm just an exchange student. I'm the same as you, Suzuki. Suzuki. Fuck. You're an exchange student? Student? I have stood as an attorney in the British courts once, but... What am I supposed to believe in? What guides my struggles in these foreign courts? I haven't come to understand that yet. Oh no! Naruhodo. And even worse, I'm not a proper law student in the first place. I'm a substitute, at best. But that armband! That's proof that you're a Japanese attorney, no? This is a memento of the man I'm imitating. He was my best friend. Memento? I am well aware. I am well aware of what they all say about me. What do you mean by they? None of those British attorneys care to defend me. Why not? You two were right. The footpath where the crime occurred was empty, save for the victim and myself. Worse even, I fled the scene. They can't help but think that I must be the culprit. I know that. Suzuki. And above all, I am an exchange student. I am nothing but a suspicious foreigner to this great British Empire. A trial for him? What a waste of time. Undoubtedly, that horrid Jap did the deed. All of those attorneys stood before me and laughed at me as if it were a cool joke. He won't understand half of what we say, anyhow. But I knew. That's awful. I've studied English more fervently than any of those stuffy big city policemen. I've crossed the very seas to show my reverence and my desire to learn this enduring language. But nary a soul is willing to lend an ear to a poor hunchback foreigner. At the least, I would be overjoyed to entrust my fate to a fellow countryman, one who knows my plight. Yet I dare not thrust it upon you, forcing you to bear an unbearable burden. When I look into your eyes, I can see the many burdens you've already placed on yourself. Suzuki. I'll do it. I need some time to think about this. First, I'll try to do whatever I can right now. What does that entail? We intend to investigate this incident in intense detail from this moment forth. We hope to find some sort of lead, and use it to help you in some way. Very well. I'll be waiting for you, substitute law student Naruhodo. Let's proceed with our investigation, Naruhodo. Let's do it. The game is afoot. Right, so now we can leave. Over at the jail, Briar Road. See the crime. I never read the bloody... What is it? Whoa. No, I never read the... description for the jail. Does that say Strand Street? I'm not blind, but... It looks like Strand Street. Briar Road, that's a bent bike. Jesus. The fuck? Oh, there's a copper. Oh, look at that snowman. Oh, it's so happy. So this is Briar Road, the scene of the crime. Ah, take a look over there, Naruhodo. What? I'd recognise those uniforms anywhere. There's no mistaking that helmet-like cap. They're coppers. It's the Bobbies. It's Scotland Yard. The Yard's policemen are all conducting their investigation. As they should. Well, yeah, that's what policemen do. Of course. They're the Scotland Yard, you know. Oh god. Oh, again, of course. I've admired them since I saw an illustration of them in The Adventures of Sherlock Holmes. You're obsessed. Yes, I do love those steel helmets. Huh? You only care about their helmets? Oh, if only I could don that helmet. Don't you want to try it on? Or don't you just want to try it on? I hope you get to experience that cold metal. What a weird thing. Hey, it's him again. He's got a snack. Again. What are you doing over there, Japanese children? Excuse you? We have names, you know. Oh, it's Inspector Gregson. Don't you mean the Inspector Gregson? Bum. You should be vaguely aware by now, but you're not on a sightseeing trip here. We know. We are, investigating the crime scene. Oh, so it looks like you went to the jail. That must mean that you met the culprit. If I had to guess, they are chips. Or maybe like potato wedges. What is the difference between a chip and a potato wedge? Usually the cut and size. He is not the culprit, he's only a suspect. I suppose you're just trying to help out a fellow Jap, eh? No. Well, you're free to do as you like. It's not my problem. You won't be able to change the result of tomorrow's trial anyway. Ugh, it's like he's trying to freeze us solid with his cold aloofness. I'm sure you can blame London's freezing cold winter for that feeling. I don't think that's right. Yeah, right. Before I speak with, Gregson... Oh, here we go. Visiting this gloomy jail brings to mind the horror of violent crime. So the cell that is currently detaining Sosuke Natsume. The candles are dim, but I doubt you'd be able to sleep comfortably here. Yeah, it doesn't look too comfortable. We should try asking around a bit before we leave, Naruhodo. So, scene of the crime, since the roads are built for omnibus traffic, they tend to be quite wide. Brickwork shops line the street. And there we have it. Alright, let's talk to him. Again. Scotland Yard. Scotland Yard? Ever since I laid out on its illustrations in Mr. Holmes' novels, I dreamed of visiting it. Scotland Yard is the world's most capable police force. It's been a lifelong dream of mine to wear one of their iron helmets. Even I have to admit, when I see a guard wearing one of those helmets, I can't help but feel like the image practically screams this city is under my protection. Oh, absolutely. I couldn't agree more. Well, Scotland Yard is actually much more labour-intensive than it looks. Ba-bum. Is that true? Take our early mornings, for example. First, our constables have to run around the city, waking up all the workers. What? You mean everyone in the city? They knock on people's windows with a long rod. I had to do it too, a long time ago. Bloody hell. That's quite something. Isn't it just? All of our work is for London citizens. It's only natural. After that, our constables start patrolling their beats. They take no breaks until the day is done. There's even a quota for how long they have to walk. 20 miles a day. Jesus. I have no idea how long that really is, but I'd imagine it's quite the distance. 20 miles is a lot. Let's see. It would be about the distance from Tokyo to Yokohama, if you were to walk on foot. I feel like that kind of trek would make me feel like more of a wreck. Ho-ho! Once it gets dark, another important job is to light all of the gas lamps. My. And between all of that, you have to investigate the odd case once in a while, right? Not to mention, they occasionally have to chase down lawbreakers. I'm not sure I like how you're making those side duties sound like side jobs. Anyway, that's how it is. Some of our men have even collapsed during their shifts. Ah yes, overwork. Brilliant. I've always looked up to those iron helmets, but now... Perhaps Naruhodo deserves more the honour of wearing one, in my opinion. I doubt I'd be able to handle something with so much weight riding on it. About the incident. The crime was committed 2 days ago at 5 PM. It was on that open road over there. It was there that the victim, a young woman, was stabbed in the back with a knife. The lady is still unconscious and being treated at this time, is that correct? I wouldn't exactly call her a lady. What? But yes, until she wakes up, we won't even be able to identify her with any certainty. Which means that we won't be able to request the victim's testimony. Here's a map of the scene. Take it, if you want. Oh, you'd give this to us? It's our policy to give the culprit's attorney the minimum information necessary. I still haven't agreed to this to be Sosuke's attorney, but okay. Since he was so kind to offer, we should take it. I agree. Map of the scene. Map of the area around the crime scene. The location where the victim was found has been marked. Has it? Looking at that sketch, I can't see a damn thing. Alright, whatever. Bodum. Well, either way. At the time, there was nobody at the scene other than the victim and the Japanese man. There's no debating who the culprit is. I believe Sosuke himself, I'm just gonna call him Sosuke, okay, said that he didn't see anyone else around as well. But even if Sosuke said that he didn't see anyone, that doesn't mean that the culprit couldn't be anyone else. Maybe it was the woman. Unfortunately, that's exactly what it means. What? After all, they've already found a decisive witness who clearly saw them on at the crime. Seriously? And there's 2 of them to boot. What? Oh no. The smoke's famous fog was thinner than usual. That Jap picked a bad day for murder. So there are 2 witnesses. Murder. Right, who are the witnesses? Tell me. So, who exactly are these witnesses? You could say that one of them is the most trustworthy witness in London. After all, he's a constable of Scotland Yard. Okay. What? A constable? This changes things a lot. A constable just happened to witness the incident taking place. It's not that unusual. That's why the constables are here, after all. It's true. Do you think that maybe you could tell us more about this constable? Of course. You're free to ask anything you want. At tomorrow's trial, that is. Ha ha, dick. The constable is absolutely going to be summoned by the court as a witness. Think of it as an exciting prospect for tomorrow. It doesn't seem like he's willing to let us meet the witness. A constable is a witness. As your legal assistant, I'm qualified to say that... This will be very disadvantageous to us. Well, yeah. I don't think you have to be a legal assistant to figure that out. Oh, that reminds me. What? The one who found and arrested the suspect was... Sherlock Holmes, right? It was Holmes?